Good morning, baby gamers.
This is Breaking the Lore,
A show where two girlfriends dig deep.
to find the weirdest and most obscure bits of trivia.
I'm Nissa's girlfriend, Sarah.
And I'm Sarah's girlfriend, Nissa.
So buckle up, because tonight's episode is
Ka-chow, it's Cars. Disney Pixar's Cars.
Disney Pixar's Cars Planes.
Yeah, I forgot about planes, just like everyone else.
I never forget about planes.
I don't know a single person besides you who has actually seen the Planes movies.
I haven't seen the Planes movies. I've seen the second half of Planes Fire and Rescue.
Okay, then I don't know anyone who has seen the plane. Well, before we get into that, I have some exciting news to share.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sure everyone's been looking forward to hearing.
Oh, I'm listening.
I've officially seen an episode of Tanked.
Yeah?
Well, I've seen half an episode of Tanked.
Good enough. That's as much as I've seen of Planes.
I was at work, and we needed to put on something relaxing, so we put on Tanked.
Good.
It was an episode where they were making a hanging tank for a tattoo parlor, and we only watched half of it because the kids got really bored and didn't care about it at all. But, yeah, we can officially say that I've seen some of Tanked.
Wow, you've seen some of Tanked. But, how much have you seen of Cars?
Oh, is this not the Tanked episode?
No. No, it's not.
Oh, shit. Okay, Cars. Cars and I have what you'd call a turbulent relationship.
Why is that?
I've seen Cars 1 and Cars 2 many, many times. I've seen
Many,
maybe
many
half
times.
of Cars 3. I still haven't seen all of Cars 3.
Okay.
But I say we have a turbulent relationship because I don't really even like Cars. Like
That's fair.
if I had to rank my Pixar movies, Cars is like way at the bottom for me. I've never really been into Cars.
Cars
Um,
is like, it's kind of low tier for me, but like, I don't dislike it. I don't think Pixar's really made a truly bad film. I am still absolutely down for watching Cars, the first one, at any time, and you can even get me in the mood to watch Cars 2 or Cars 3.
Cars 2 fucking sucks.
It does, but it's probably the worst Pixar film. I don't hate it though.
I mean, I don't really hate. Well, no, because I don't hate Cars 2. I just could not care less about it.
Like, the
Um,
lowest tier Pixar movies are Cars 2 and The Good Dinosaur. And,
oh yeah, The Good Dinosaur.
like, I don't want to say it, but I didn't really like Brave that much either.
Brave's okay. Brave's another one that I'm like, it's kind of. I like it enough, but it's not one that like is up there for me.
Yeah.
Good Dinosaur, I'd say, is probably actually. No, I'm gonna say Cars 2 is my least favorite Pixar movie, and The Good Dinosaur is like probably second least favorite, just because it's really forgettable and kind of
Yet,
boring.
I watched The Good Dinosaur once. I don't remember anything that happened in that
I've seen
movie.
it like twice, and all I really remember was there was like those cattle rancher raptors or something. I don't even remember if they were raptors.
Gonna be honest here, when I think about The Good Dinosaur, I still feel like I've only seen trailers for that movie, because that's how little I remember of the actual movie.
It's like there's like the dinosaur and he's a long neck. I don't know what they're called anymore. I know they used to be brachiosauruses. Um, so now I just call them long necks because I don't know what they are. And
There's
like
actually several species of them. You can just call the whole, like, category just sauropods, but there's Brontosaurus, there's Apatosaurus, like, and to get into the nitty gritty here, yeah.
but like it's like that, and he's like he owns a farm. Well, his family owns a farm, and he's like really disappointing, and he constantly disappoints his dad, and then his dad dies because he's
Hey, me
being
too.
disappointing. And then I think he like finds a human, but like it's feral, and like his dad wants him to kill it, but like he doesn't. This is before his dad dies. His dad wants him to kill it, but he doesn't kill it, and then his dad dies trying to kill the human. And they go on some like adventure to like get the human back to his human people.
just like Ice Age.
I think I want to say there's like a scene where they trip on poison berries, but I don't remember if that actually happens or if I'm just like imagining it. But this is not the Good Dinosaur episode
No,
either.
this is
This
the
is
Cars
the
episode.
Cars episode.
My relationship with Cars, it's fine. It's still fair. The whole series is fairly low tier of my Pixar franchises tier list. But like, I like it. Not a whole lot, but like enough. I've seen the Cars trilogy. I've seen the second half of Planes, Planes Fire and Rescue, like I said earlier. I haven't seen the first Planes at all.
Seen no planes.
No, I've seen no Planes. I've only seen the second half of Planes Fire and Rescue. And I've seen some of the Cars tunes, but not all of them.
I've seen most of the Cars tunes, or at least most of the like. I don't know. Are there ones that aren't Mater's Tall Tales? Because I've seen most of Mater's Tall Tales.
I think there's a couple that aren't Mater's Tall Tales.
Then maybe I haven't seen those. I'm gonna look up Cars tunes right now.
All right. It's our first lore, I guess.
I've seen the Mater's Tall Tales, or at least most of them. Because yeah, I've seen Looking Through. I've seen Rescue Squad Mater. I've seen El Matador more times than I can count. I'm
Don't
pretty
you remember
sure...
you was there too?
Yep. I've seen Mater the Greater definitely a bunch of times. I've seen Tokyo Mater. I'm pretty sure I've seen Unidentified Flying Mater. I'm sure at some point I've seen Monster Truck Mater, but I can't remember it. I don't think I've seen Heavy Metal or Moon Mater. I've definitely seen Mater Private Eye. I actually watched it like very recently because that was the other thing I was going to mention about my relationship with Cars. One of the kids we have right now at my job, I don't know if I've ever said what I do on the podcast, but my like day job is residential counseling for 5 to 12-year-olds in crisis. And one of the kids we have at work right now is fucking obsessed with Cars. We have Disney Plus at work, and it's not cute. It's really annoying. We have Disney Plus at work, and whenever he gets to choose what we watch, he's always like, oh my god, what does he call it? Madagascar. He always says Madagascar. And we're like, what are you talking about? And he's like, with Lightning McQueen. And we're like, Cars? For some reason, he thinks like Madagascar and Cars are the same thing, and I don't really know why, but maybe because Madagascar has a car word at the end, but like...
Because all the cars run on gas, and some of them are pissed.
Yeah?
They're bad a gas car.
Okay, babe. Whatever you say.
So yeah, that's how I feel about Cars. I really, really want to go to Cars Land at Disney's California Adventure.
I am open to going to Cars Land with you.
Like, Radiator Springs Racers looks really good.
It does? I don't know anything about Radiator Springs Racers.
Oh, it's just like a fast car ride.
Oh, that sounds kind of fun then.
Yeah.
I just don't like Mater. I don't want to interact with him.
He might not be there. They do have cars that like roam, and that's really cool.
Is Mater one of them? Because I don't want to see him.
So I think they have Red the fire truck, and they have Lightning McQueen. I think they have Cruz Ramirez. Okay, so you can meet Mater and Lightning McQueen, and there's like a vampire Mater for Halloween. That's fun.
No, I hate Mater. That's your first lore. Nissa does not like Mater.
Oh, this is a funky looking guy. DJ? Is that a Cars character, or is that just like a Disneyland OC?
I don't recognize him, but...
It looks pretty funky. Oh, here we go. Cars Land. Character Central.
DJ actually looks kind of familiar. I think...
Yeah.
Oh, he is! He's, those cars with, like, the neon who are absolute fucking dickheads to Mac, and like
Uh-huh.
that's why Lightning McQueen gets lost in the
Uh-huh.
first movie. He's one of those.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
he's one of the rude
why did
ones.
they bring him to Cars Land?
I don't know.
Okay, hold on.
I mean, he might be popular because he's in the video games too.
DJ's full name is Devin Montgomery Johnston III.
What an asshole. I hate his name a lot. Wait. Do the other, like, rude cars have fancy names like that?
Oh.
No,
Oh,
they
they
don't.
don't? Oh.
They don't seem to be.
Yeah,
Because Boost doesn't have
Boost,
one.
Snotrod, and Wingo don't have full names, so I don't know why DJ does.
I think DJ's just, like, weirdly popular.
I mean,
That's the
he
vibe
looks
I'm
pretty
getting.
cool, I guess.
Really? I don't think he's the best one.
Um,
I think Boost easily
oh,
beats him
Boost is
design-wise.
cool, actually.
And, like, I'm pretty sure my favorite one is maybe Wingo? Let me see. Yeah, Wingo's okay. I think Boost is the best
Boost
looking
looks
one.
actually really cool, yeah.
Boost looks fucking sick.
I mean, DJ looks cool. I'm not sure why they brought him to Disneyland. Is my thing.
I mean, I guess because his name is DJ and they needed a character to, like, be the DJ Rex of Cars Land, and they were like,
the DJ Rex
close
of
enough?
Cars Land.
Well, that's what he does. He plays
He
music.
does, yeah. Yeah, so it's Lightning
Um,
McQueen, Mater, Red, Cruz Ramirez, and DJ. Those are the only characters they have in Cars Land.
oh, and that's what he does in the movie, too. He's the one with, like, the big sound system.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's so weird and boxy, because his entire back is a sound system.
Hmm. So, like, how come Cars Land can have, like, real cars roaming the land, interacting with people, but Galaxy's Edge can't have droids?
I don't have an answer for that.
Like, I know they like, finally brought R2-D2 in, but, like, he's still, like, pretty limited, I think.
Yeah, no, it is kind of weird that they, like, don't have any of... I mean, I guess just because Cars Land wouldn't work at all without it.
I guess. They don't, like, need the cars to be, like, characters that roam around. You can have just, like, a designated meet and greet with just a big animatronic in a building.
That's fair. It wouldn't be as fun, though.
It wouldn't. I like how, one more thing about DJ, though. I like how his occupation is listed as delinquent road hazard.
That's him. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, with, like, the name he has, that, like, definitely confirms my, like, low-key theory that I haven't thought about in a really long time, that, like, all four of them are, like, pastel shorts, my dad's a lawyer type, like, college frat boy assholes.
Absolutely 100%.
Like, his name's fucking Devin Montgomery Johnston III. Like, the other ones don't need funny names for me to know that they have names just like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Why does the Cars Wiki have humanized fan art of the delinquent road hazards?
it does? I want to see.
I'm gonna send it to you. But why is this like on the Cars Wiki though?
You know, oh my god, this is horrible. First of all, this is terribly edited. I think we're gonna include this in the tweet just because, like, why is DJ a cat boy?
Okay, the drawings themselves aren't bad. It's just so like poorly edited. It looks like somebody took someone else's art and brought it into MS Paint.
No, yeah, like, the drawings themselves aren't terrible. I'm not, like, shitting on this artist.
no.
I think that their art style is fine. But, like, I don't get why, like, it's weirdly, like, painted over with, like, phone, like I could do the weird backgrounds on my iPhone with the, like, marker tool.
Yeah.
And it kind of ruins some of them because it covers up parts of
Yeah,
them, and I don't
no.
really get why. Like, Wingo's entire arm is gone.
Oh, Wingo.
I definitely think this is someone's fan art that they edited. I
Yeah.
want to find the original somehow.
Oh, I'll look later. Definitely.
But yeah, that actually brings me to something I was planning on mentioning before we got into stuff, but I forgot to. The Cars Wiki fucking sucks.
The Cars Wiki is
It's
horrendous.
like, I know you're going to be using the Cars Wiki for this episode, but I'm probably going to be using mostly the Pixar Wiki, just because there are entire pages of the Cars Wiki where it's just like there's some book that's like a compilation of short stories, and the entire page is this is a book, and then a list of the characters, and that's the entire content of the page.
It's really bad. That's why I'm using it.
I think it's going to be good that we're swapping, and I'm using Pixar Wiki and you're using Cars Wiki. I think that'll make for a varied experience.
Yeah, because like the Pixar wiki is like good.
Yeah, no, the Pixar Wiki's really good. This DJ page is incredibly detailed. Um, what?
This DJ page is incredibly detailed.
It is. It's got all his appearances. It has a detailed description of his appearance from Cars. It's got a nice gallery. He's got 3 separate toys that you can buy. But yeah. So, while we were talking about Cars Land, is Cars Land like canon?
That's a really good question, and I want to say it is, but I know in my heart that it's not.
What like stops it from being canon?
I'm pretty sure Doc Hudson is there.
Doc Hudson?
Yeah,
But isn't Cruz Ramirez also there?
exactly.
I guess after that, the guests meet Doc, who tells them, yup, yeah, Doc is in Radiator Springs Racers, alive and well.
Yeah. So Doc Hudson and Cruz Ramirez cannot like coexist because Cruz Ramirez doesn't become a racer until Cars 3, which is years after Doc's death.
No, yeah, because Doc dies before Cars 2, right?
Doc dies before Cars 2, but after the events of Cars Racer-Rama, the video game.
Is Cars Racer-Rama the video game canon?
I don't know. I don't know if it... Like, I don't understand the Cars canon, like, because there are a lot of video games. I don't know if any of them are canon. I think there's an MMO.
There's a Cars MMO?
The World of Cars Online.
That's awful. I mean, I know there's a Pirates of the Caribbean MMO, but, like, I didn't know there was a Cars MMO. Although, they were both coming out around the same time, so I bet Disney would do both.
Oh, yeah. Like...
Because I remember I had this, like, little, like, I don't know, it was this tiny magazine. It was, like, Disney Informer or something.
Disney
It was
Adventures?
free. Yeah, Disney Adventures. And it was, like, advertising Cars and Pirates of the Caribbean around the same time. I used to read that in the car when I was a little kid.
Okay, so I went to the article for the World of Cars Online, and, so I guess you could, like, put a number on your car, like, if you're a race car. The number 69 was not allowed, as the 60s stop at 68.
Damn it!
This is considered by many as a very strict parental control.
Is 420 allowed?
I feel like it's double-digit numbers.
Cars MMO is a bad game.
You didn't play, you didn't even know it existed until now.
If my car can't be 69, I don't want to play. And I'm glad I didn't play. I don't like that even one bit.
Me neither.
Also, I have no ideas if Cars Racer-Rama is canon, because...
I don't think Cars has a canon. I don't think Pixar has a story group for this. Like...
Pretty embarrassing. Story group should have caught this. So something else I found on the superior Pixar wiki. Apparently, and I mean I didn't know this. This is probably known by some people, but I didn't know about it. I guess Route 66 and... Well, I mean, obviously Route 66 is real. Everyone knows that. I knew that before doing this. But I guess, apparently Radiator Springs is based on a lot of real things along Route 66. Like, obviously changing their locations to sort of compile them in one place. But I guess, things like the Cozy Cone Motel is apparently based on 2 separate motels in Holbrook, Arizona and Rialto, California, where they were little, like, individual cabins shaped like teepees. So, like, the same sort of cone shape. Apparently only a couple of them are still standing. I don't know if they're still, like, functional motels. And then Ramon's House of Body Art, I guess, is based on somewhere in Shamrock, Texas called You Drop In. It's like sort of I think it's based on it aesthetically. I'm not sure because I can't find a picture, but it seems like it's based on the same like style of architecture, and they look like similar buildings. There's a billboard saying "Here it is" with a Ford Model T, and that's based on the Jackrabbit Trading Post.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently, this isn't really a location one, but the character Sheriff is voiced by Michael Wallace, who is apparently an American historian and the author of a book about Route 66.
Oh, cool.
So that's just kind of a fun little bonus fact at the end of our Cars history lesson. So yeah, I think it's kind of cool that like Radiator Springs, while being a fake town, is kind of a composite of a lot of things from Route 66. Sort of shows they did a bit of work when they were designing the town.
I got something here, just something that was funny to me from Doc Hudson's trivia section.
Okay.
Although Doc's number was 51, there was no actual number 51 Fabulous Hudson Hornet.
That's fair. I was gonna say, it's almost like Doc Hudson didn't exist.
Doc Hudson is not a real person, guys. Sorry to break it to you.
Oh, speaking of Doc Hudson's trivia page, I got some things here. I guess it's more Incredibles trivia than anything else, but Doc Hudson is in The Incredibles.
Oh yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
Not like him, obviously, it doesn't have eyes, but like
Well, no, but yeah.
a 1951 Hudson Hornet with a dark blue paint job that looks just like him appears in The Incredibles. Which was, I guess, sort of you could call it like almost a preview for Cars, since Incredibles came out first. Oh, I'm looking at the picture now, and like even sort of the glare makes it look like he has his eyes. It's kind of funny. We'll post the picture at some point, because it does sort of look like he has his eyes, and it's kind of funny. And then the other one, apparently, well, according to officially published concept art, Doc Hudson lived from 1951 to 2009.
That's so sad.
So yeah, I mean, Doc Hudson died 11 years ago, guys. I'm really sorry to send that out there. But that also means you can sort of pin down a timeline for the Cars series.
Which, I mean, I think the Cars series takes place, like, when it came out. Like, Cars was 2006, Cars 2 was 2011, and Cars 3 was 2017.
Because I thought when we were researching this episode, there was something that, like, threw a wrench into it.
Cars 3 takes place during the 2017 Piston Cup season.
Oh, okay. So Cars 3 does take place in 2017. Canonically.
And Cars 2... I mean, I assume it has to be 2011.
I guess.
I think the only thing that threw a wrench into it was actually Cars Racerama.
Just because doesn't Cars Racerama, like, I can't find the source right now, but I remember we saw it in our research. Doesn't it take place like 4 years after Cars, but Doc Hudson is still alive?
Oh, yeah.
But either way, all that would really change is that Cars has to take place in 2005 instead of 2006.
Which is fine,
making it set 1 year in the past. But that's cool. I didn't know that Cars 3 had a like officially released year that it takes place in. So yeah, there's the Cars timeline. Unlike the Phineas and Ferb timeline, can be very easily nailed down and figured out without many issues.
One thing I want to mention is that so the Louvre exists in the Cars world, obviously.
Well, obviously, of course.
Yeah, and it contains a painting, a very famous painting called The Motor Lisa.
Is there a picture of the Motor Lisa?
There is a picture of the Motor Lisa.
Can I see it so I can react to it?
Yes.
Oh, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Oh my god, I hate this.
I hate it a lot.
Oh, so for the viewers at home, this is not a picture of a car that looks like the Mona Lisa. It's not even a picture of a car dressed up like the Mona Lisa. It is a picture of a car that is billowing smoke out of its front that vaguely resembles if the Mona Lisa had an afro sitting on a hill that looks kind of like the Mona Lisa's body. This is a horrible image.
And for some reason, like, there's like smaller cars on the hill.
No, yeah, it'd be like if like the Mona Lisa had a bunch of tiny people sitting on her boobs in the painting. I don't really get it. Like,
I don't know what the point is of that.
is she wearing a necklace? I haven't seen the Mona Lisa recently enough. No, she's not. Um, yeah, she doesn't even have like a complicated neckline or anything. She's just yeah. I don't get what those are supposed to translate to.
Yeah, I don't know why they have that at all.
This is maybe the worst adaptation of Mona Lisa I've ever seen.
It's really bad.
So I guess that gets us into another fun Cars conversation that I'm sure many people have had before. How much of real life history happened in Cars?
Well, we know there has to be a car Jesus.
Well, yeah, because there's a car Pope.
Yeah. There's the Pope Mobile with his Pope Mobile.
Car Jesus was crucified on the tire iron or whatever. And the really, really, really big tire iron that resulted in Christianity. So yeah, like it's weird to think about like which historical events probably happened and which didn't. And then it sort of becomes even more confusing because Cars has countries that don't exist.
Yeah.
Specifically one country, the Republic of New Rearendia, is yeah, that's what it's called. There's a flag and everything. It's a fictional country that was formerly a European colony. So European imperialization happened in Cars as well. European imperialization is canon to Cars, in fact.
And like for that matter, there is a Queen of England.
That's true. So like yeah, I kind of forgot about that fact, but
like Mater got knighted by the Queen of
it's
England.
true, Sir Toe Mater. Sir Mater of Toe or something. I don't know. Whatever his name is. I hate Mater. It's why I don't like Cars 2. Oh, there's a lot of reasons I don't like Cars 2. We can get into Cars 2 in a little bit. But yeah, there's this fake country in Cars 2, New Rearendia. It's a republic. It was formerly owned by some European country. We don't actually know which country was the imperialist country that had it. But it was independent recently. So it got its independence in like the 2000s. And it's unknown to the world as well.
What?
However, it is unknown to the world. Literally, the location of New Rearendia is not on any maps, and no one knows where it is.
Excuse me?
I don't know how this makes sense, given that it was a European colony, and that, if I know imperialist nations, they were, like, all over, like, showing those things off. And also, if he's in the Grand Prix, he had to get to, like, the Grand Prix locations from somewhere, which means a plane flies, presumably, or a boat travels, one of the two, from New Rearendia to Europe, which would have had to have happened anyway, because the point of having a colony is to rip it of natural resources. So there would have had to have been trade between New Rearendia and Europe, which means people would have to know where it is.
Only select people know where it is.
But why is it a well-kept secret? Like, I don't understand why it's canon that no one knows where it is.
That's a really good question.
Despite no one knowing where it is, I want to point out something else I've seen. Also, it's the only fictional country in the entire series for some reason. I don't know if this is the Cars series implying that, like, everything still went the way that it all happened, but, like, New Rearendia does exist and we don't know about it in real life. That doesn't make sense, but maybe. But further making it confusing that no one knows where it is, the main villains, Vladimir Trunkov and J. Kirby Gremlin, are wanted in New Rearendia? Like, they have, like, warrants for their arrest in those countries that, like, come up in their files, and, like, are publicly known about. Which means they've been there, first of all. They've committed crimes there. They got back from there. And it's public enough that people know that the country exists and that they're wanted there. I don't understand how this is an unknown country.
I don't know.
I don't like this country one bit.
I went to the article for the United Kingdom, and there's just like a picture of like British soldiers with guns.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, they have like muskets with what's the word? The things you stab.
Bayonets.
Yeah, bayonets. Bayonetta. Yeah. What battle is this?
That's a good question. I don't even know where this picture comes from.
Because it looks like a painting that I could find in real life, but I don't know like.
And I want to talk about just like the Queen.
Yeah, let's talk about the Queen.
So there's a statue of Queen Victoria, who is labeled as Victoria in Cars 2. So,
yeah.
The current like Cars Queen is, as it says on the Cars Wiki, Queen Elizabeth II. And she's also a playable character in Cars 2, the video game.
Oh, she sure is. Yeah, there's her playable character model. Oh, the Queen also appears in The Incredibles, apparently.
What?
She appears in Incredibles too. Again, non-anthropomorphic, but
Aww.
She's in. Remember when have you seen Cars or Incredibles 2?
Yeah.
Remember when someone buys the Incredimobile, and puts it in their rich car driver collection, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When Dash steals it, the Queen is one of the cars in their collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wiki doesn't have a picture of that, but I'm gonna try to find it.
Another historical thing that has happened, even though it didn't happen in history, but happened in, I guess, the modern era, because it happens in a Cars tune, is Dr. Frankenwagon, who created Dr. Frankenwagon's monster.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When does that short take place?
That's Monster Truck Mater.
Oh, I've definitely never seen that one then.
Mater was a monster truck wrestler, and one of the monster trucks he wrestled was Dr. Frankenwagon's monster. And we see Dr. Frankenwagon, and his occupation is monster truck / scientist.
That's so weird. But no, yeah, that did happen in the modern era, because it's not so Mary Shelley's Frankenstein happens, kind of, sort of, but it's that makes me wonder, is that supposed to be just Mary Shelley's Frankenstein taking place in the modern era of cars, or is that meant to imply that Car Mary Shelley wrote Car Frankenstein, and this person has made his monster truck wrestling persona a reference to that famous Cars Victorian era novel?
I don't know. I do not know.
Is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein canon in Cars?
Yes.
Yeah? We're going to definitively say that?
Yes, we are. There's a Santa car?
Yeah?
Yes.
I'm going to find it.
Santa car delivers presents to all the cars in the world at Christmas time. Santa car helps Lightning McQueen and Mater defeat Chick Hicks.
Yeah?
Yeah. Chick Hicks, stole some items and held everyone hostage at Radiator Springs to stop Christmas. Chick Hicks stole Christmas!
I want to say Chick Hicks would not give a fuck about that.
Chick Hicks canonically stole Christmas!
How the Chick Hicks stole Christmas, I guess. I don't...
This was a...
Why does he care enough about Radiator Springs to hold the town hostage over Christmas?
I don't know. Um, this happened in a book titled Mater Saves Christmas.
Mater Saves. Oh my god, I'm looking at it right now. Mater Saves Christmas. I hate Mater. Why did he become so popular?
Babe,
Oh hey, the frat boys are in this book.
oh good. Babe, I have something important, like really important to say.
What is it?
So I can't they don't have articles, like their articles are like, they're red links, so they're not real. But according to the Cars Wiki's like template for miscellaneous characters, the Beatles are canon.
I mean, I'd be more surprised if they weren't at this point with all the things that like apparently did exist.
But also, like, their names aren't changed at all. They're not like car puns. They're just George Harrison, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and Ringo Starr.
They just exist.
Yeah.
They're just real. Aren't we just meant to assume that like every single historical figure exists in the world of cars, but like as a car?
For the most part, yeah.
Car Richard Nixon did Car Watergate.
There was a comic where all of the car characters voiced by John Ratzenberger, so like all the Pixar characters voiced by him that had car versions as like a credits gag, were abducted by aliens.
What is this called?
I don't know yet. I have to find it. It's not telling me what the comic itself was called. It just says this. I found this in The Underminer is a character in comic books.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know which comic it is, but I'm dying here. I need to know.
Like the Underminer from like
The Incredibles.
The Incredibles?
Yeah. Oh wait, just to go back to Mater Saves Christmas for a second, there are car reindeer.
I was just gonna say, I was looking at the car reindeer. They're like the little like pit stop cars, like Guido.
No, they're like snowmobiles.
Oh, are they? I mean, yeah. To be fair, the only picture on this wiki is a very tiny, blurry picture of them.
Oh. No, yeah, they're snowmobiles, for sure.
Oh, they're weird looking. Which, I mean, just goes to mean that all animals and cars are vehicles, right? Which, I mean, we see with the little bugs.
Yeah.
So, what is the sushi that Mater eats?
It's it's made of motor oil.
Is it?
It's gotta be.
But is it?
Please have an article for this.
I found Sushi Chef on the Pixar Wiki. I'm looking at that.
I found the article for like the sushi like brothers, but it doesn't have anything about the sushi.
But see, I'm looking at it and like there are balls of what clearly looks like masago. Like the little fish eggs.
Uh-huh. That's what it looks like.
Like it looks like fish eggs, motor oil, potato chips, and wasabi. So I don't really know what kind of sushi they're eating.
I think that's ginger, baby.
Oh, that's ginger. And that would be soy sauce, not motor oil.
I mean, it looks green to me.
But, I mean, I think it depends on the picture. It looks kind of green in this one picture. Oh, it looks very green in this other picture. Okay, maybe it is oil. Or is oil even green? Maybe it's green tea?
Oh, no, the thing behind him is green. I think that's just the reflection.
Yeah, so it would be soy sauce.
He's in front of a green wall in the movie.
So it would be soy sauce?
So I guess it's either soy sauce or motor oil. I don't think the cars make a difference.
Oh, but like if you look nearby, there's sushi right next to him.
Yeah, where?
The seaweed looks like tires for whatever fucking reason.
Oh, that's macabre.
Yeah, you need to look at like there's like it's the wide shot where he's kind of like okay, perfect. All right, so the very first shot is a full shot of the sushi bar.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at it all zoomed in. And yeah, that's salmon nigiri sitting on the plate.
I don't like this.
There's a bunch of salmon nigiri. There's what looks like those rolls that are just like tuna, rice, and seaweed. Um, the thing that he's in front of is like the topping bar, or the thing that
Okay.
he's behind is the topping bar. So that's why it's just like masago, ginger, soy sauce, and wasabi. But this does appear to be real sushi. Like that's an actual piece of sashimi salmon. It appears at least to be. Um,
Yeah.
Zooming in isn't helping the situation because it still looks like that.
Oh no.
Um, so yeah, if all the cars if all the animals are cars, where is the sashimi salmon coming from?
Small cars?
But
Oh no, submarines.
it doesn't look like car parts though.
They're small
It looks like
submarines.
actual fish meat.
Small submarines.
And I mean, what's more? So he goes to eat the wasabi, right?
Uh-huh.
He mistakes it for ice cream.
Yeah.
Do cars eat
Oh
food?
no! Ice cream exists!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do cars eat food? Because the movies make a big deal of them drinking oil.
Well, okay, they must milk the tractors, right? They milk the tractors and
Do
freeze it
do
to.
they milk the tractors?
Why else do they have tractors that act like cows?
Where does the milk come out of, baby?
Exhaust.
They like jerk off the exhaust pipe and like milk comes out? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
With what hands, by the way, do they do this?
Their mouths.
Oh, so they give the, they give the tractors that act like cows a blowjob, and milk comes out. Is that your suggestion for how ice cream occurs in the Cars universe? Do they then like throw up the milk, or do they just not swallow? They spit. Um,
I don't like this conversation. Okay, but no, I have the solution. Okay, I have the
what's the
solution.
solution to the sushi and to the milk and ice cream?
Get ready for this, baby.
I'm listening.
It's all vegan.
I guess.
Plants exist. We see trees and stuff.
I mean, I guess that could be the explanation. I think it's kind of boring. But I guess it's just how it has to work because there can't be fish. There can't be real fish, and like there can't be milk.
Yeah.
But like ice cream theoretically exists, and wasabi exists. But that doesn't change the question, even if it's vegan. Do cars eat food?
No. Yes, they have to. They have to. We see them eat food.
But like,
But
why? We know why they eat motor oil, or they drink it rather. But that
so they drink motor oil. That's like their water. And then like I think cars like originally may have subsisted exclusively on gasoline, but then they found like new ways to prepare it by mixing it with like plants and stuff to make fun new flavors of gasoline to fuel themselves
But
with.
do they just like eat it for fun? Because like it doesn't seem like the characters consistently eat food.
No, it's fuel.
Because like Radiator Springs, to my knowledge, does not have a single restaurant or grocery store.
That's Flows. That's like a
But
gas
like
station.
Flo's
Though,
like yeah, it's a gas station. That's where they get oil.
yeah. So, and like Fillmore sells like
Organic gas.
what was it? Yeah, organic gas. So that's what I'm thinking. Like all of the food is like made of like plants and fossil fuels, and it's like basically gasoline. If you were to eat car food, it would be disgusting.
See, like I'm
to
looking
you.
at Flo's V8 Cafe though, and like you can kind of see inside, and it's just a bunch of gas pumps.
Yeah, because they just like drink it.
But so do they eat for fun?
I think only like fancy people take their gasoline in like food form. I think it's like a
Yeah.
high class thing, and like normal people usually just go to a gas
So-
station.
Class war in cars is over if you eat gasoline food or drink gasoline.
I'm not sure if it's like a class war. I think it's more like eating food is kind of seen as like a real like prissy
But-
thing to do.
I
Like,
mean, But Mater acts, but like,
It's
no,
like,
counterpoint. Mater's not prissy at all. He's like the opposite. And Mater is not prissy. He's the opposite of prissy, obviously.
that's true.
Mater, when he goes to the restaurant, he doesn't know what wasabi is, but he acts like eating ice cream is no big deal to him. He does it regularly, it seems. Which means that Mater has regularly consumed at least some food. Which means that it can't just be like a wealthy elite luxury thing.
I guess. So I just don't know then.
And then do cars regularly have to go to the bathroom? Because there's a
Uh,
bathroom in the restaurant because it's used for a Mater pissing himself joke.
um,
But like,
because I would think it's usually just like turned into exhaust and just goes into the sky. Um,
then why is there a
I
bathroom in
don't
Cars
know.
2?
I don't know.
Where Mater
For
pees
like
himself.
leaks.
But like, wouldn't that be more of a medical issue
Uh,
than a bathroom issue?
I don't know.
Because like, wouldn't like a leak be the equivalent of like you're bleeding out?
Like, yeah, I guess. So I
You know,
don't
I think
know.
they just wanted to make a piss joke and didn't like think through the logistics
That's
of.
like why I like cars and why it's so fun to break the lore of, because they don't think about it, and if you put in a single ounce of thought into it, it doesn't make sense anymore.
I mean, yeah, no, I think they just wanted a wasabi joke and wanted a pissing joke and decided that it didn't have to make sense as long as it was funny to kids. But yeah,
Oh,
Cars does get pretty easily broken down if you put any thought into it.
yeah.
I know you
Um,
wanted to talk about that.
but first, just to go back to like real people who exist, there's a George Clooney who was known in the Polish version of the comic he appeared in as Antonio Banzieres.
So both of them exist, but they're the same person.
Yeah. They're identical
Okay.
twins in this world.
You
George
know
Clooney
what?
and Antonio Banderas are identical twins in this world.
That that doesn't work for a number of reasons, but that's okay, Cars universe.
So, okay, I went to the article for the Pope Mobile, and I found a category on that article called church.
Uh-huh.
And, so, first of all, there's a priest, like, in addition to, the Pope Mobile. That's not surprising.
Makes sense.
There's also an article titled The Great Manufacturer.
The what now?
The great manufacturer is in religious beliefs conceived of as the supreme being, creator deity, and a principal object of faith.
The maker?
The great manufacturer.
The the great manufacturer, huh?
Yeah.
So cars have a god.
Yes.
They have a monotheistic god, which I mean, but it's not. But they don't call him God, despite it being.
No, they call it the great manufacturer.
Sorry, I'm really distracted because if you've ever been on the Cars Wiki, the sidebars are advertisements from in universe, and one of them is leak less adult drip pants. So there's a Cars adult diaper ad just on the sidebar of the wiki that I'm staring aimlessly at when I'm supposed to be talking about Cars God.
Where's your car god now?
Yeah, Cars God exists. And again, yeah, it's called The Great Manufacturer, which raises a number of questions. What is it, sweetie?
I want to go back to sushi for a second. There's a crocodile with tires in
What do you mean
Moon
there's a
Mater.
crocodile with tires?
There's a crocodile with tires.
What's his name?
I don't know. He just appears on a road sign.
In what? What is he in?
Moon Mater.
Yeah, it's a gator crossing, isn't it?
And then there is a crab boat who fishes for crab on the Bering Sea.
So it implies that crustaceans exist, at the very least.
There are crabs.
Like real crabs.
Like real crabs. Because also, Fireball Beach in Florida is classified as a crab sanctuary.
Seattle-based... The crab boat's name is Krabby, by the way.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. He's based on the boat from The Deadliest Catch. The front has SH on it, which is a reference to the Deadliest Catch guy. And the side says Northwestern, which, again, is based on the Deadliest Catch boat. So are they... But we don't see the crabs, do we?
I don't think so. Unless we see them on Fireball Beach in Florida.
No, yeah, I'm not seeing any crabs. All his thing. He's a terrible crab fisher because all his crates are empty. So crustaceans maybe exist.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because that gator isn't style. I mean, it's a stylized sign, but the gator isn't stylized to look like a car. It is stylized to just look like a gator with
wheels. Yeah.
Wheel. Which implies the gators are just gators on wheels, which is really weird.
Yeah.
I guess speaking of things that exist in universe as well, I was reading about things and I found that all the Pixar movies exist in universe.
Yeah, they do.
Like they're not not like that they all happened, but that they're all in universe movies.
No,
there's a Yeti and Mike Wazowski and Buzz Lightyear car. So I guess the Pixar movies are in universe entertainment in Cars.
Yeah, that's really good. So it says here in the article for vehicles, even though vehicles can also be children as well as adults, it is unknown of how they are able to reproduce in the first place.
I was going to ask about that when we were talking about the great manufacturer. Do cars fuck?
I think they probably don't, or at least only, like, for fun.
But then...
Because there's a list of car manufacturers.
So cars do come from manufacturers, like, canonically.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's actually a really big plot point in Planes, Fire, and Rescue, is that the plane, one of his parts is, like, broken, and they don't make that part anymore. So,
yeah?
Like, capitalism kind of kills people by just, like, they don't manufacture vital organs after a certain point.
So what...
If you're an older car, that's how you die.
Yeah, they don't make any new vital organs for you, and you just go into organ failure, and that's it?
If you're an outdated car, they're not going to make more organs for you.
Is that how Doc Hudson died? That's horrible.
Yeah,
how do you think Lightning McQueen feels about that?
Probably terrible. But I think at this point, that's just like an accepted fact of life.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's just accepted that when your model gets old enough. So wait, then I guess that raises the question, do cars die before their time is old enough?
I mean, I think they can get totaled.
Well, like, yes, okay. Yes, they can. I'm not talking about, like, can cars get killed? Because obviously cars can get killed. We've seen cars die on screen in Cars 2. Like, cars can be brutally murdered, but what I'm asking is it a lobster situation where cars don't die unless they're killed, / unless the manufacturer stops making organs for them?
Probably. Because, like, I don't know. It kind of feels like... I mean, Elvis is still alive.
Elvis car is still alive? It's not an impersonator?
We don't know.
I'm gonna look.
Like, we see Elvis in Cars, the first one.
Yeah.
It doesn't say if it's the real Elvis.
You know, yeah. His bio, like, doesn't indicate that he's not the real Elvis.
It sure doesn't.
Which makes you wonder, if, like, a car is famous enough, will the manufacturer continue making the vital organs for that car so they don't die?
Why did Queen Victoria die, then?
She was murdered in this universe. Like, I don't know. It almost, I mean, it makes sense. Like, if there's like a beloved celebrity car, wouldn't the manufacturer have pressure from just the people in general to continue making parts for that car so that car
I
never dies?
guess.
Meaning that there are no celebrity deaths in modern car history unless they get killed?
Um, I guess.
So, like, for example, of the Beatles, John Lennon car is probably still dead because he got killed. He didn't just
Yeah.
die in old people life. So,
Yeah.
but then does that mean that cars? But then that makes me wonder if cars can be kids and also adults. How do cars age? Because it doesn't seem like they age otherwise. They just get outdated. Do you have to send the kid cars back to the factory to get like built into adults? When does that happen? Why don't they just come out as adults if that's how it happens?
Do kid cars like actually age, or do they just stay as kid cars?
Does that mean that the population is completely stable and no one ever ages? And that everyone's always, like, it's just frozen in time until the manufacturers run out of parts and then you die?
I guess.
And then they sometimes build adult cars and sometimes build kid cars. And the adult cars they just release into the wild, and the kid cars they put in the kid magazine or whatever for car couples.
The car orphan catalog?
I mean, if they're all manufactured and cars don't fuck, how else do you think they get their children? The baby store is real in the Cars universe.
like that one scene in Robots. I'm sorry you missed the delivery, but it's okay, making the baby is the fun part.
Yeah, I know exactly. I think if cars are manufactured canonically, there has to be some weird shit with, like, either they have to get sent back to the factory when they age up or they don't age up. Like, do they age up like The Sims where they reach like a certain time period and then they just like are the new age group? Because they can't grow like a human. So like they can't like go through like the normal stages of like growing a couple inches, developing a little bit, a slow protracted puberty.
Yeah, that's... I don't like this world.
Yeah, I don't really like cars that much either, I'm gonna be honest. So,
Uh-huh.
cars are canonically manufactured. By who?
Car companies. There's a whole list of car manufacturers on the Cars Wiki.
By who?
Cars.
But like, who runs them?
There are cars who decide which cars get made.
Okay. And cars that decide...
Yes, there are cars who decide who lives and who dies.
So then why does the concept of the great creator exist? Or the great manufacturer? If we, like... If as cars, they know who made them.
Because the real question is... Because, okay, we as people know who made us. We know who our parents are. We know where babies come from. But the cars, while they know where cars come from, they don't know who made the first car.
Who did make the first car?
Who made the first car? Because the first car made the second car, and the first and second cars made more cars, obviously. But who made the first car? That's the great manufacturer. That's the great manufacturer who made the first car. That's why they need a religion.
So do Adam and Eve car exist?
Adam and Eve car.
Adam and Eve car. Are they real? Let's talk about car biology for a second.
Baby.
Why do they have doors?
Sexual reasons.
What do you mean by sexual reasons?
I mean, putting your tire inside, like, onto another car's seat is, like, really kinky stuff.
But, okay, have we ever seen their doors open?
I don't think so.
Can their doors open? Do we know?
Do
Do they just have vestigial doors?
There's no article for doors. I'm gonna just try the vehicles article and see if they have anything about... So the section on, biology. The vehicle's windows are all opaque and gray, so no one knows what is inside them, and it is implied that they may not be hollow.
Well, I mean, if they have a mouth and they eat food, then they have to have some kind of internal organ structure, I'm sure.
Some concept art imply the presence of animal-like organs inside them.
That's what I'm saying.
None of their doors ever open. Convertibles always have their roofs up. Vehicles without a roof in real life are given one in this world. And vehicles with asymmetrical cockpits in real life have perfectly symmetrical cockpits in the same world.
That leads me to believe that doors are vestigial.
They must be.
But, like, vestigial things come from when something had a purpose but no longer does. So that begs the question.
It does.
But then you could also wonder, like, I mean, I guess doors they considered, from like an out-of-universe perspective, I guess they considered doors to be too iconic to the design of cars to just get rid of them.
Yeah.
But, like, if they were willing to, like, change the roofs of cars that don't have roofs and change the cockpit designs of cars that are asymmetrical, why not just not design them with doors?
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
Then, like, the cars, like, they don't even just have doors, they have handles, too.
So they should be openable, and you would just, like, see,
like,
their organs if you opened them?
I guess? If, like, they do have organs in there, that's what makes sense. But, like, but why? Why are cars created with doors?
I mean, I know there's, like, a theory that, like, cars in, like, the Pixar universe, like, because, like, things are sentient, like in Toy Story, so, like, after the humans are all gone in WALL-E, the cars take over, so, like, the cars were originally made for people, and that's why they have doors, but I don't know if that, like, works.
I feel like I saw that get, like, undone somewhere, but I don't remember where exactly. I want to say Cars 3, like, somehow, like, threw a wrench in the theory that, like, the cars had sprung up from taking over after there were no more humans. So the problem I'm seeing with this theory that the cars just replace humans is, I guess, as the theory is theoretically posited, it's that, like, smart cars evolved to the point that they were, like, too smart, and then I roboted all the humans, or, like, matrixed all the humans or whatever, and took over. Or at the very least, like, the same issue comes up with WALL-E as well, where WALL-E clearly takes place in the future, the far future, because we don't have the technology to build a station like the one that they use in the movie, or the WALL-E robot. Well, we could probably build a WALL-E if we try real hard.
I don't know if we could make it like an autonomous WALL-E that goes around and gets garbage on its own.
I was just about to say, I think we could build, like, the body of WALL-E, but I'm not sure we could build, like, the personality.
I mean, they did Pixar in real life.
Like, oh yeah, true. There actually is a real WALL-E, but I don't think we could make it act the way that it needs to. And we certainly couldn't build Eva for fucking sure.
Yeah, no.
But Cars 3, like, confirms that the Cars universe dates back to real life 1954.
Are we sure that, like, the cars didn't just, like, reset their calendar and kind of have basically, like, exactly the same history that humans did?
I mean, I guess they could have, but it just seems, it doesn't make sense to me that they would have had the exact same history and historical figures and would have ended up in the exact same place except for New Rarendia existing.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
No, that's not how that quote works. Like, I think as fun as it is to theorize that Cars comes from, like, the far future where, like, humans all die off, or, like, cars take over and kill all the humans or whatever, like, it doesn't make sense. Like the fact that like there was Jesus car and there was a car Mona Lisa that doesn't look like the Mona Lisa even a little bit, and like all these historical events in cars that apparently really exist. Like, it doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't.
Like, there's a school bus in Cars.
There is.
In Cars 3, there's a school bus. Like, who uses the school bus? Or why is there a school bus?
Well, do kid cars have a school?
I mean, is school canon to Cars? Like, again, like, even if they go to school, like, wouldn't the school bus presumably have organs inside of it so it couldn't be opened up to ride in?
There's a karate school. There's a spy school. There's a driving school. And there's a flight school.
Some of these aren't schools, babe.
What do you mean?
Spy school is the name of some shorts. I know that you just searched school on Cars Wiki and read off everything.
There's a...
driving school is a book.
There's a Zeppelin Broadcasting School, which is a prestigious school for blimps.
Okay, so school exists.
Yes.
So school does exist.
Mm-hmm.
But school buses still shouldn't.
I guess.
Because quite literally every single kid can just drive to school.
They don't have driver's licenses. They're too young.
They don't need to have driver's licenses. I don't even understand why driver's licenses would exist in the Cars universe. I don't think they do.
Before you're allowed to walk on a road, you need to be licensed.
I don't know what the plot of driver school is, but like I don't think licenses can possibly exist.
It looks like Mater teaches the delinquents the rules of the road.
I mean, I guess that would just be like the real life equivalent of like if every time someone walked down the street, they like chose to just fucking deck someone or something, and the police were like, you need to learn how to walk down the street like a responsible young man. Like, you know? I don't know. I don't know that we're actually going to accomplish anything through trying to figure out like where these cars come from or why they have these human things.
We're sure not.
I think it's the same as the wasabi bathroom, where it just doesn't make sense. There's just no reason why there's a school bus. There's no reason why the cars have doors.
Yeah.
I don't know why they have like teeth either. I don't know why. Do they have to brush their teeth? Because like Mater's teeth are kind of rotting.
Oh gosh.
Or at least they have like they're not rotting, but they have like, you know, that like kind of yellowed, sugary decay type look.
Yeah, I see it. They don't look good.
No one else has that. They all have like, and he has like weirdly pronounced teeth compared to everyone else's teeth. Also, cars have tongues. I want to point that out.
They do. It's a plot point.
Yeah, because he spits out his tongue, and that's how he survives the first race.
Yeah.
So like, I don't understand why they would evolve the ability to eat. Or no, the manufacturer would create the ability to eat them,
yeah.
Which then loops us around. If they have organic organs, how does that happen in a manufacturing plant?
I don't want to think about it.
Organic organs, even if they just have car parts, where does the tongue come from?
I don't know, and I don't want to think about it.
Did they build Mater with giant yellowed teeth, or did his teeth become like that? Does everyone have to brush their teeth? Do they not have to brush their teeth? Do cars brush their teeth? Where are their hands to brush their teeth with? Do they have like a little thing that they stand in front of that brushes their teeth for them? Like,
babe, I don't like this line of questioning.
All I'm saying is this show is called Breaking the Law, and there's a lot of holes in cars.
There's a lot of holes in cars. So you mentioned earlier about how all the Pixar movies exist.
Yes.
I want to talk about how there's a few other movies that exist.
Okay.
So there's a film called Howard the Truck,
Howard the Duck.
and the VHS tape cover is a large egg with a pickup truck crashed into it.
Okay, that raises a number of questions as well.
It was made by George Lexus.
So, the concept of eggs exists.
Yeah.
Do any of these vehicle animals come from eggs?
Where do the vehicle animals come from in general? Are they manufactured?
I mean, they would have to be manufactured, but also that makes absolutely no sense because they'd have to be manufacturing them at a weirdly high rate and like releasing them to the wild at a weirdly high rate. Like they'd have to be like to keep up with commercial fishing, assuming that the crabs are not actual crabs, which we are really undecided on if these fish are real fish considering the whole sushi incident.
Well, in Fueling Nemo, the Marlin and Dory are seen as submarines.
So that I mean that just makes more confusion about what the deal with the sushi is. But like, if those are manufactured, then like companies must be like constantly pouring them out into the wild. Like, is someone responsible for making all those little beetles and just like releasing them into the wild? Like, is there really intense animal population control? Are there carnivores? Are there predators? Like, do
There's
animals kill each other?
There's crocodiles and snakes are tiny little trains.
But like, are there predators and prey in the car universe? Do car animals kill and eat each other?
I don't know, and I also don't know why they make so many animals to begin with.
I mean, yeah, there really shouldn't be a reason for animals to exist at all, if we're being honest. And then also, like,
I mean, there are pets. Like, I sent you a picture. There's a pet shop.
But then, why are there pets? Are those not just like? Because I see one that's like, presumably a hamster or something. And it's just a tiny car.
Yeah.
Like, what makes that different from just like a tiny person? Like,
those aren't sapient.
Why not? They've got the eyes, they got the mouth.
Because they're
They've got,
hamsters.
but what makes them? Is there like a car brain, and they give them like a car hamster brain instead of a car human brain? Because they're built to look identical to a real car. So that also makes you wonder, like, are cars weirded out at all by the fact that like their pets look like tiny versions of them, but are really stupid, presumably? Like, eggs should not exist.
No, they really shouldn't.
They shouldn't know what eggs are.
But the fact that eggs exist means that maybe cars do reproduce, or at least maybe animals do. But then why can't cars? Why are cars manufactured if they can reproduce? Well, why did they reproduce so they can be manufactured?
We still haven't answered why tractor cows exist, like what they do for anyone. Are they killed and eaten? Do you blowjob their exhaust pipe to get milk? Like, what is the purpose of a tractor cow?
I don't know.
The earliest domestication of North American tractors, so tractors come in flavors as well, can be traced back to the 1800s during the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad.
What?
Why did they bother to build a transcontinental railroad? Are trains that widespread in universe? So yeah, the Transcontinental Railroad is canon as well. Railroaders quickly discovered the tractor's ability to create level grades across even the most demanding geography. Today, Native Plains tractors is regarded as one of the true pioneers of the West. So are tractors just used for, like, terraforming? And, like, they're magically better than real tractors at, like...
They must be?
So they're domesticated... So tractors were wild animals that are domesticated for terraforming purposes, it seems?
I don't understand.
Tractors are hard workers. They enjoy what they do, plowing the fields on a nice warm day, and then falling asleep under the moonlight. But every so often they wake up to the sound of snorting and giggling trailing into the distance, and find themselves laying on their backs into the stars. But they don't mind. It's kind of nice to sleep lying down for a change.
Tractors are considered sacred in India, which is based upon how cows are considered sacred in India in reality.
Yeah?
They get recycled.
What does that mean?
Like, as in reincarnated.
Right. I mean, babe, I get what it's a real world parallel to. I mean, in the universe of Cars, what does it mean when a tractor is recycled?
I don't know.
Does it mean they're broken down for parts and then the parts are shipped to the tractor manufacturer? But if the tractors were domesticated, why is there a tractor manufacturer? Because that implies they're wild animals. And wild animals that need to be domesticated don't come from a factory, because why wouldn't you just make them domesticated already? Why would you make them wild if the whole point was to domesticate them?
This episode's a mess because this world is a mess.
I'm never watching Cars again. That's a lie. I'm probably going to watch Cars tonight. Actually, no, we're not. I'm kind of sick of Cars. We can watch it in a little while. Tractors are all girls.
So what's the...
Bulldozers.
Okay. Oh,
bulldozers are the male equivalent of tractors.
That's clever.
Is it clever?
Funny. I like that.
I guess bulldozers are also used for terraforming.
Yeah, and they're bulls.
Okay, babe.
It's funny to me.
So, like, does that mean that bulldozers and tractors mate?
Do tractors lay eggs?
Well, cows don't lay eggs.
No, but like, why would they need, like, male and female equivalents if they're, like, manufactured and not, they don't reproduce?
I mean, that's the question.
I think we need to get away from, like, questioning car biology, because it's been, like, all of this entire episode.
But I think it's a really important question.
It is, but everything turns into it.
Because this entire universe revolves around how car biology makes no sense, and how car biology creates more questions than it solves. Every single lore bit that we're breaking apart ties back to car biology in some way or another.
It does. If I could, like, go back to... There's, like, a couple more movies that exist.
Yeah, we just got very off topic because Howard the Duck is confirming that cars know what eggs are. So that's very upsetting.
There's Pirates of the Caribbean. There's Fender Woman. And there's Guardians of the Galaxy, Lap 2.
So that means that, like, car science fiction exists. And also car pirates exist.
Yeah. Car superheroes exist.
Well, I mean, they may not.
The Car Marvel Cinematic Universe exists.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if everything's happened historically the way that it happens, I guess pirates would exist, so I shouldn't be terribly surprised. But, like, based on that one joke in Cars 1, when Car and Bonnie killed people, did she flash one of her headlights? I think she did.
Sure.
She turned on her blinker on, like, the one headlight side.
Also, there are several real-life companies that exist in the car universe.
Oh yeah, like Cadillac.
Not even car companies, though. Because, like, car companies kind of make sense, but
I mean, it doesn't really make sense. It's kind of confusing if you think about it.
If we have car manufacturers, I don't see why real life car manufacturers can't be among them.
I mean, I guess enough real life things already existing, it's not that huge.
But, like, how about Apple?
Oh yeah, because there's that one car that has an Apple logo on it.
There's a car named Mac iCar.
Yeah. Car Steve Jobs.
And he has the Apple logo. He's got the Apple logo on him. There's also State Farm.
Why is there State Farm? I guess that'd be life insurance.
Because yeah, life insurance. And there's Target.
Target.
Carget. And there's American Airlines.
Why the fuck does American Airlines exist?
I don't know. Like, some of these come from, like, crossover, like, commercials.
American Airlines.
So, like, that's, like, why, but...
American Airlines made me wonder.
Yes.
Is there, like... And hear me out.
Uh-huh, I'm listening.
A really, 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 really rigid car caste system.
What do you mean?
Where you have to do, like, whatever job you're, like, born to do, essentially. Because, like, Mater is a tow truck.
Yeah.
He presumably didn't choose to be a tow truck. It seems he has to do tow truck work.
And, like, Lightning McQueen is a race car. He doesn't have doors.
Yeah, he's built to be a race car. He's not really suited to do... And, like, if you're a plane, do you have to work for an airline?
Well, okay. So, I know for a fact that in planes, Dusty Crop Hopper, he was, like, a crop duster. Which implies the existence of crops.
That's also a plain job,
But he, his, like, goal was to be a racer instead. So he had, like, dreams and aspirations that went outside of his defined role.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Planes, Fire, and Rescue, he became a plane that, like, drops water over forest fires.
Well, at least that makes more sense because he has the machinery to do it.
Yeah, but, like, he's changed jobs 3 times. So, like, obviously I didn't watch the first Planes movie, but it doesn't, like, I think it's, like, frowned upon, but not, like, discouraged?
I mean, I feel like now that we're talking about it, I feel like I've seen part of that movie, and I feel like the characters were very, like, against it. Like, I feel like he got, like, made fun of and sabotaged a lot because of it.
Yeah. I guess, like, vehicles are made for a purpose and need to fulfill that purpose.
But then, like, you have vehicles like Doc Hudson, who's too old to fulfill his purpose, so he's a doctor and a judge? But there is no car made to be a doctor or a judge.
I guess that's, like, why they make all kinds of, like, regular cars that don't have jobs, that are just, like, civilian cars that are allowed to do whatever they want.
But then that doesn't change the question, then, if you're a car that's made for a specific purpose, do you have to fulfill that specific purpose?
I think it's just that you're encouraged to, and people think it's, like, weird and bad if you don't, but I don't think it's, like, legally required.
That's still kind of fucked up.
It is. It's really fucked up.
I don't like cars.
I don't like cars one bit. Something else that I have here is there's, like, another, like, commercial for cars that, like, this one promotes traffic safety.
Okay.
And there are sidewalks and crosswalks in it.
Why?
I don't know. Like, in a world where everyone's a car, I don't know why you would need anything but the roads.
Do cars have traffic accidents that are more serious than, like, people bumping into each other?
I mean, Doc Hudson had a crash. Yeah.
No, wait, they do. They absolutely do. Because Doc Hudson had a crash. The old Dynaco man, Chick Hicks fucking tried to murder him in the end, and then Rusty's Lightning McQueen had to shove him across the finish line and lost the race horribly, and Chick Hicks won. But then Dynaco gave it to him because he's a good person. But he said no because he wants small town life. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, I guess car crashes do exist. Or at least they have the potential to exist. But then again, you could argue that's, like, the same as, like, if you, like, were walking past someone on the street and you, like, push them into a brick wall, like really
it's
hard.
Just, like, it's just, like, injuries that are a result of, like, people just, and, like, I guess mechanics are doctors, so...
But then Doc Hudson is, like...
I don't know if he's, like, a medical doctor.
But then... I think he is.
But, like, that would be a mechanic.
But, like, he's not treated as a mechanic, and the pit crews are treated as a mechanic.
Because I think a pit crew is, like, a different, like, level. It's more of like, because race cars are athletes and pit crews are like water boys and stuff.
But like they change tires and things, which seems like a doctor type thing.
No, that's because tires are just shoes.
I mean, I guess.
It's just like, here, your equipment is worn out. I'll replace it for you. Like like doctors are mechanics. Like Doc Hudson has a doctorate in being an auto mechanic.
He has a hospital?
Garage.
No. Doc Hudson, Doctor of Internal Combustion.
Internal combustion.
So he treats, like, if your engine overheats and you set on fire. So is that something that happens in cars? Like, can you, like, just set on fire?
It must.
Because, yeah, no, Doc Hudson, Doctor of Internal Combustion. I'm not really sure where this picture comes from.
But like, yeah, it's like, but that's still what I'm saying, though. Like, it's called a hospital, but, like, he's an auto mechanic. He just has a doctorate in it because cars are people.
After he fixed someone's, he met on the side of the road's engine, he realized he could take up a medical career. He attended medical school and got a doctorate in internal combustion and soon became...
Yeah, because that's what they call it.
Okay. I want to figure out how to prove you wrong. I probably can't, but like I'm like really like worked up by this that like there's a doctor.
Okay, there's a mechanic who's referred to as a mechanic in Planes, Fire, and Rescue, and he's the one who like makes the new part that the guy needs, the one that stopped being manufactured. He's a fucking surgeon, but he's called a mechanic.
Okay, but how about there's a mechanic in Cars 3.
Uh-huh.
Smokey, Doc Hudson's like mentor or whatever, but not his doctoring mentor. And he's referred to as a mechanic, not a doctor.
So then what's the difference between a doctor?
And he doesn't run a hospital like Doc Hudson does. He runs a garage.
So what's the difference between a garage and a hospital? I guess a garage is where you go when you don't have a, like, serious medical issue, but a hospital is where you go when you have a serious medical issue?
I mean, I guess. I mean, is internal combustion, like, a big enough problem in the universe of cars that it happens enough that you need specific hospitals and a med school dedicated to it?
Is the school dedicated to it, or is it just one program at the school?
There's no information on the medical school he attended.
Okay, well, I would assume it's just like a general medical school, and that's just what he specializes in.
Oh.
Oh?
Apparently, it is actually called a mechanical clinic.
Okay.
So it seems that, like, mechanic and doctor are, like, kind of sort of interchangeable, but kind of sort of not. Like, it seems like it depends on the Cars universe story and the character and what's being discussed. Because Doc Hudson is the only character referred to as a doctor so far, despite a couple characters being referred to as mechanics.
I think, like, a doctor is, like, a higher level of mechanic. Like, more schooling and, like, you know?
I guess that makes sense, yeah. So we figured that one out, at least.
Yeah.
Apparently, in Cars 3, there's a discussion about running moonshine?
Moonshine?
Uh-huh. Which implies, 1, Cars prohibition existed. 2, Cars bootleggers existed. And 3, cars get fucking wasted.
Cars get turned.
I wanted to mention just, like, not even have a full discussion, because I don't think it really warrants one, because it's obviously an out-of-universe thing. But, like, it's really weird to me that Bessie isn't sentient.
It is kind of weird. Like, I guess it's just because she's, like, not a vehicle, but I don't know.
But, like, it's weird to me because in real life, like, because she's a road paving, like, equipment. And, like, it's weird to me because in real life, those are vehicles. Like, those are their own things that drive themselves. Because a
Yeah.
car, I don't think, could even pull a real life one necessarily
They look
without.
really heavy.
Like, I feel like a car would just, like, rip their back half off before pulling one.
Yeah, they look super heavy.
So, like, it's obviously just because the plot has to plot. And, like, either Bessie isn't sentient or she's not in the movie. It's weird. It's really weird to me.
Yeah.
Although,
Although,
that gives me an interesting segue
yes.
to a little something that I found to be kind of weird that I saw on Twitter the other day. Perfect timing, right before this episode. Like the exact opposite of that whole like Rey is the daughter of a clone thing coming out right after our Star Wars episode.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a deleted scene from Cars 1
Yes.
that raises a great many questions. In Cars 1,
Mm-hmm.
as you all know, Lightning McQueen is arrested. He's forced to do community service. I mean, something weird about this that I noticed when I was watching Cars with that one kid recently is like they drain his gas so he can't run away. But that's kind of fucked up if you like think about it really hard because like it's essentially them like either drugging him or non-consensually draining like very dangerous amounts of his blood.
It really is, and that's really fucked up. Yeah.
Like, it's really fucked up that, like, while he's knocked out in prison, they do that to him so he can't run away. Like,
Yeah, they don't just, like, put a boot on him. They drain his gas.
they literally make him too weak to run away. I don't know how that can be legal in the Cars world, but apparently it is.
I mean, the law did it. Like, who said it had to be legal?
But the scene was originally going to be much worse.
Yeah, it was gonna be really fucked up.
And that's the deleted scene that I saw that this whole Bessie thing is a segue to. Because apparently Bessie was once sentient, but there's a twist. Instead of draining his gas while he was sleeping, while Lightning McQueen was sleeping, they ripped out all of his internal organs and put him in a road paver. And then there's like a gag about them putting Mater's internal organs in Lightning McQueen's body. So Mater becomes the Lightning McQueen race car, but with Mater's teeth.
Yeah, that's the weird part. That his teeth go with him.
That's the weird part? That's the only weird part?
It's not the only weird part, but it gave me an idea. Which, like,
Uh-huh.
so, like, their mouth, their teeth, and their tongue would be, like, connected to their engine.
I guess so.
And it's just like a hollow shell. And, like, you drop the engine in, and, like, the mouth slots in to where it's supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would assume their eyes, as well, are a part of that, like, whole thing.
I guess so.
And that's really fucking weird.
I mean, I guess the engine doubles as a brain and a heart. Like it's
And,
both.
yeah, it's their consciousness, as well.
So, like, it would be their brain, heart, and consciousness. Which, I mean, I guess then would make sense that it connects to the mouth and eyes because, like, the sensory system.
Yeah.
But, and then there's the concept that implies that you can just, like, rip out a car's vital organs and put them into another car body with no consequences whatsoever.
Well, the consequence is you have to kill the car that currently inhabits that body.
Because, like, Lightning McQueen didn't die. He just woke up as a road paver.
No, but if you're gonna put your consciousness into another car body, the car that currently possesses that car body needs to die. They need to be taken out of that car body.
No, yeah. So, like, whoever was originally Bessie, unless Bessie was a body created specifically for this sort of punishment, which doesn't really make sense because it seems very specific.
I can't imagine that would be common, and if it is, that's horrifying.
But I feel like the scene does imply that it's common to put people in different. But also, Lightning McQueen's horrified by it.
Yeah, he is.
Which, I mean, makes sense if you consider that it's basically a non-elective surgery.
Yeah.
And I don't actually. That's the wrong term. I guess I meant non-consensual surgery, because non-elective would be like a life-saving surgery, since an elective surgery is like.
Yeah, because like I don't know. Imagine you woke up and you weren't in your body. Like you'd be horrified.
Yeah, that's.
You'd be horrified even if it was like a sexy body and you prefer it to your own.
I mean, yeah, that's like a horror movie plot, basically. Like.
But like that begs the question of like, why don't car manufacturers like sell empty car shells that cars like on the last legs of their life can just put their engine into a new car shell?
I mean, that's a good question.
Like Doc Hudson didn't need to die. He could have just gotten a sexy new body.
And I mean, I was gonna say, what if they're really expensive? But Doc Hudson, that wouldn't be a problem for him.
Doc Hudson seems loaded.
He's a doctor, a former celebrity, and a judge.
He's loaded.
Yeah, like he would have tons of money. So like he could definitely. Then I mean, I guess you would just have to wonder if like I guess Doc Hudson felt he was at the end of his life and wanted to die, but like I don't know about that either.
I mean, I guess because, if I guess if he died of like complications with his engine that weren't like fixable.
But then does that mean that any car death is preventable except for engine death?
I guess.
If their engine is their brain, heart, and consciousness, as is implied by the deleted scene?
Like, I don't know, if your brain broke, like, you can't just get a new brain.
Right.
Like, I mean, Out of Jimmy's Head did, but, like, I think that's the only one.
Cars is weird. Cars is bothering me. Because, I mean, even, like, I feel like Cars is one of those series that, like, they wanted to be kind of dark, but, like, couldn't do it because it's a kid's thing. Because, like, I was also reading last night, Cars 2, which already has, like, on-screen torture and murder. Originally, the torture scene was so dark that Pixar told them to roll it back. like, they were, like, going for, like, the grittier spy movies. I mean, they ended up creating this fucking major catastrophe, so I don't really know how that ended up translating from A to B, but apparently they were looking at, like, the gritty spy movies and, like, seeing how much of, like, the death and torture and, like, dark shit they could get away with, to the point that they had to redo the entire torture scene.
Release the gritty cut of Cars 2.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Please do. Like, Pixar, give it to me.
Like, I don't get why. I'm curious now if, like, Cars 3 has, like, a deleted scene that's, like, horrifically dark to the point of not fitting in with the context of the movie, just like Cars 1 and Cars 2. I just... that deleted scene messes me up. I don't like the thought of taking out a car's engine and putting it in another car, and, like...
It's really gross.
It is. It's like... Oh, it's really weird to think about.
Yeah, I don't like thinking about it at all.
And, like, yeah, it raises a lot of problems of, like... Which is... I mean, they probably deleted it both because it's very disturbing as a concept and because it raises a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you can do that, why does any car ever have to die ever?
Yeah, they shouldn't.
I don't like the idea of transporting cars into other cars. That's not good.
I don't either, and I think that's why that's gonna do it for us.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty worked up with Cars. This episode is very long. I'm tired of talking about Cars. I'm tired of thinking about Cars.
Me too.
Cars is overcomplicated. None of it works. The entire world of Cars is so deeply flawed that we couldn't discuss it for, like, 5 minutes without finding a massive issue.
I hate everything about the Cars lore.
I really do too. I don't like anything about Cars lore anymore. Just do yourself a favor, and when you watch the funny Pixar race car movies, turn your brain off and don't think about it too hard.
Do not think about anything, please.
Don't dig into the Cars cinematic universe. Don't dig into Cars lore besides this podcast. I'm sorry we made you listen to it. Like, just try to forget everything you heard here.
Look away,
and, like,
please.
I promise next episode won't be nearly as horrible.
No, it won't.
I don't know what we're doing yet, but it will not be on the level of Cars.
Yeah. Oh. So, thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening to this whole long, rambly, horrible Cars episode.
Check out our Patreon. Check out, I don't know if you're listening to this on Podbean or on YouTube, but either way, check out the other one. The Dude Media Network is, it's great. There's, so far we're the only show, it's us and the, Overwatch show. But yeah, big thank you to the Dude Media Network. It's great.
No, yeah, I really appreciate that they host us and support us and allow us to have a more podcasting professional platform alongside our YouTube for whichever format that people prefer. And check out Sarah's other videos as well.
Oh, yeah. If you listen to this on YouTube,
fun.
just like click the channel because there's some funky stuff there. If you like this show, you'll kind of like the kind of offbeat style of stuff I do there.
Mm-hmm. And like you'll see the links in either of our descriptions. Check out Breaking the Lore's Twitter, check out our individual Twitters. If you like our stuff, give us a follow. Join our Discord server, the Goldie Ratio.
There's it's
you'll
a
get
fun
information place. You'll get information on Breaking the Lore, you'll get information on Sarah's videos, and you'll get information on when we stream, because we sometimes do Kingdom Hearts dub streams.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're working on
kind of infrequently.
Working on Kingdom Hearts. We've been dubbing it while we play, but it's kind of infrequent, just when we feel like doing it.
But it's always fun to watch. So definitely consider joining our Discord server and following us for all the updates.
And just, thanks for listening. Thanks for spreading the word. Thanks for subbing to Patreon if you do. Just big thank you, because we do this show for you guys.
But yeah, like Sarah said, a big thank you to all of you guys for supporting us. Keep commenting, telling us what you guys think about it. We love responding to comments and sort of hearing you guys' thoughts about our episodes. Again, check out our Patreon because we got some fun bonus content, and we're planning on doing more fun bonus content, so check it out for that. And make sure that if you like us, tell people about us and share us with people, because we're trying to build an audience, and the best way to do that is for our current audience to tell people. So if you like us, tell people and share us and everything. And thank you so much for your support.
Thank you so much for listening. Have a nice day.
Bye.